How are you?
Fine, fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Just
Act-
introduce saying that where are you from, what you are doing.
I'm from Coimbatore. I'm currently working in Integra Global Solutions as accountant, and uh, I've completed a FI certification recently.
Okay. How did you get to know about us? This webinar?
Actually, through the WhatsApp meet link.
Okay, good, good. Yeah. Can we have other people with the Srividya? You are ITHM student, no?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. Zartash, can you just tell about yourself, please?
Yeah. This is
Yeah, good
Srividya. And
Srividya, wait 1 minute. We'll have Zartash.
okay.
yeah, good evening to all and senior. And this side is Zartaj Hussain Khan and currently working in T-Force Tech Limited company as a FICO consultant and now I am working in as a training and I am from UP and I have postgraduate. Thank you.
Thank you, Zartash. Srividya, can you just give your introduction, please?
Yeah. This is Srividya. And I'm an IT CHAM student. Now only I completed a FI certification. And now I'm a housewife, but I have around 10 years experience in accounts payable.
Oh, super. Can we have Sai next one?
Hello.
Yeah. Kavya, you want to go?
Yes, ma'am. Can I, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Kavya Kya. I'm in Bangalore. I've completed my graduation PG from Reva Institute of Science and Management in Finance and HR. And recently, I've completed my SAP FICO certification, ma'am. And I got to know about this webinar from my sir, ma'am.
Okay. Good to have you, Kavya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody wants to give their introduction, please? Another 2 more minutes we'll wait and then we'll start with Raghu sir's this thing. Sonali, you have to switch on your video. Sonali, switch on your video.
Yes. I think my video is not working.
No problem.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sonali Kakade, and I have completed my internship program with IT and I have global certified in SAP FICO, and currently I'm looking forward to get employed. And yes, and I'm very happy to join the webinar with experienced person, Mr. Raghunandan Rao.
Thank you, Sonali.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to go or should we start? Yeah, Sai, you have raised the hand. Yeah, will you come on the video, please?
Ma'am, my webcam is not working.
Okay, no problem.
Sure, sir, for that. Yeah, I'm a web developer from Magenta IT Solutions from last 3 years. Right now, I'm training ABAP, SAP ABAP from IT Champ. I'm getting training, ma'am.
Oh,
I know
okay.
this by WhatsApp group.
Okay, good. Should we start? Sir, should we start?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, we can. We can.
Yeah. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or at 80. You have to keep learning to keep yourself young. Now you decide whether you want to be young or old. Good evening, everybody. This is Prajakta Kutnikar, co-founder and director of ITGEM Software. We are glad to share the journey of ITGEMs with 17 years 150 plus projects across the globe, and trained more than 600 plus students on different modules with 100% placement and live project internship. We are going to have series of learning sessions from the industry experts to all who are interested in learning different modules of SAP. Last month, we had a successful webinar on HCM by our very own CEO, and 150 students across the globe took advantage of this. We have uploaded on our IT Champs YouTube channel. Whoever is interested can visit that and have a look. Today's webinar is on finance by our very own CFO, Mr. Raghunandan Rao. He is a qualified chartered accountant, certified public accountant from Australia, BBM gold medalist, qualified information system auditor, certified peer reviewer, and certified forensic accountant and fraud examiner. He has 25 years of experience in India, Middle East, and Europe in the capacity of CFO, Vice President, Finance Director in leading MNCs and listed companies. He is also serving as consulting project lead for Microsoft Corporation USA. Feel free to ask any doubt by putting your queries in the chat box so that post the session, sir can take over your queries. If you want to know further about us, do visit us at www.itchamps.com. We are present on all social medias, including YouTube channel. So feel free to get in touch with us anytime. Without any further delay, I would like to invite our CFO, Mr. Raghunandan Rao, to take over. Let's learn more from his vast experience. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Prajakta. That was a very detailed introduction, and I also thank all the participants who are here today. Thanks for joining us, and again, thanks to IT Champs for organizing the series of lectures, which is, I'm sure, very helpful to the students at large. Even people who are working can definitely benefit from such webinars. And I also had a look at the list of joinees today, and I'm very happy to share that we are having a lot of people who are already certified in FICO. So I don't know how much they're going to learn from me today. Maybe it should be the other way around. I should be learning something from you. We are also having a couple of chartered accountants. We are having MBAs in finance. We are having BCom graduates, and we are also having MTechs here. So it's a very nice spread of students we have today attending this session. So I hope we'll all be able to benefit from this session. We are going to be talking about FICO on SAP. I'm going to come to what FICO is and what are we going to benefit from that. How are we going to benefit? How are you going to benefit? What are your career options after doing FICO training? So I'll be touching upon all that. And after that, we are going to be having a question and answer session. So please write it down, jot down all your questions on a piece of paper. We will check it towards the end, or you can always put it on the chat box. We'll check it towards the end. And a couple of house rules I'd like to inform before we start. The first one is that please put your phones on silent. Also mute yourselves so that we don't listen to vessels falling in the background or dogs barking when we're talking. All right, and keep your videos on. It's nice to see faces than talking into a very flat screen. It's nice to see smiles on the screen when I'm talking. But if you want to move around, if you want to open the door for someone, you can always sort of shut your camera and you can walk around. So that's the sort of house rules. Let's start. Introduction has already been given by Mrs. Prajakta. I don't think I need to stress any further about what I do for my life. I'm a chartered accountant basically, and I have been using SAP. I've been a user of SAP. While a lot of you are here to understand what consulting is going to do for you, what you're going to do as a consultant, I have been on both sides of the fence. I just want to give a 1 minute background as to what is my relationship with SAP. I have been using SAP for the past 25 years as a user. I have been a super user of SAP. I used to run companies. I have been finance director, CFO of companies, very large companies where SAP was used. So I have an exposure to various modules of SAP. I have integrated various functionalities of SAP, various modules of SAP, including Could be REFX, could be consolidation modules, could be foreign exchange modules. So I've worked extensively on SAP. I also have the experience in implementation of SAP for large companies, where I used to work as the project lead. So I'll be happy to share any knowledge that I can give out in today's meeting. Now, let me just straight jump into ERP first, automation of business process automation, as they say. A lot of you here who are attending, I heard some introductions. Fantastic, you're all already SAP certified, or you have some sort of alignment into ERP already. But I also saw that there are a couple of people here with us today who are new to ERP. They have come here to explore what is in store for them. What is this buzzword called ERP? How is it going to help them? Is it really going to be something which they need to be looking towards? So I'd like to spend a few minutes on ERP. Why ERP? What is ERP? What's business process? What's automation of business process? And then let me move on to SAP. Is that okay? Any questions so far? Okay, I take this as a no. So let's move forward now. What is ERP? Everybody, every small software today claims that they are an ERP. They have taken the liberty of calling themselves as an ERP today. What an ERP is, the full form of ERP, everybody seems to know it's enterprise resource planning. But if I were to just convince you the other way as to what it is, it's basically planning for resources in an enterprise. An enterprise is, it could be a company, it could be a hotel, it could be an educational institution, it could be anything you can think of. It could be a small shop which you're running. And when you're running an organization or an enterprise, you need to plan a couple of resources. Very simple, right? If you're going to be manufacturing very small, say pens, right? You're going to be manufacturing pens. You need to plan for your materials. You need to know what materials you need to import, what raw materials you need, what consumables you need. You also need to plan where you're going to manufacture this. You need to plan how many people you need to manufacture this. You need to know how much money you need in order to manufacture this and market this. So a tool which is going to help you in planning operation of a company is an ERP. Clear? So when you have an ERP in an organization, all that it does is it simplifies the operations of an enterprise. Let me now give you an example. I'd like to speak about case studies so we can easily sort of connect what I'm just talking about. Let's take a example of a company called Toyota. You've all heard of Toyota, right? Toyota manufactures cars. And in India, in one plant, Toyota manufactures, you've all heard of Toyota Innova, right? Which has become Innova Krista now. You may not believe, but they manufacture about 1.4 lakh cars every year. Okay. So roughly that translates to about 400 cars per day. If I were to manage a company, if I were the general manager of the Toyota factory, if I'm sitting in the general manager's desk, just imagine what all I need to be thinking about, what all I need to be aware about. Starting from the materials that I need. Just a car like Innova Krista has about 30,000 parts, friends. You may not know, you cannot see the parts, but actually when you blast open the car, when you explore the car, you will see 30,000 different parts in a car, in an Innova Krista. Can you imagine 30,000 parts? The cars come in various shapes and sizes and colors. You will have a diesel variant, a petrol variant, you'll have a red color car and a blue car and a white car and a green car. Different colors on the exterior, different colors on the interior. You have different variants. You will have a 2.4 liter engine, you will have a 2.8 liter engine. And each car has 30,000 parts. And supposing one small part is not available on that particular day, the car cannot roll out of production. So just imagine how much of planning should go into ensuring that your parts, your materials are planned and stocked in order to ensure that your production doesn't stop. Now, having said that, does it mean that I can buy and keep 1 year stock together so I never run out of stock? So let me take one part in a car. Let's take a tire. Every car, every Innova has 5 tires, right? 4 which you can see and 1 which is like the stepney. So 5 cars multiplied by 400 cars, for 5 tires multiplied by 400 cars is 2000 tires. And you've seen the size of the tire, it's like massive, it's big. Do you know where we are going to be storing 2000 tires every day? And if you were to store 1 week of stock of tires, you're thinking of 14,000 tires. Where am I going to be stocking all this? Where is the space? How am I going to be planning it? There are various concepts. There is just in time. There is various inventory models which are there. But I, as a general manager, I want each of you here today to step into the shoes of the general manager of that enterprise for like 5 minutes. So you can at least feel it. You can see how is this person going to be managing? Because one part missing, your car cannot go out of the enterprise. And I'm talking only about one model called Innova. Now they have ETOs, they have various other variants of cars, they have Camrys, they have Land Cruisers, they've got various other cars which they manufacture. But one product, if you don't have one part of this product, you will not be able to roll out the vehicles out of the production, which means it could cause losses to the enterprise. Now I'm talking about materials here. What about people? How many people do you need per shift? How many, what is the money you need to run this enterprise? How much cash do you need? Do you need to keep full amount of cash at all times? When do you need to pay your suppliers? When are you supposed to collect from your customers? How much FDs can you keep in the account? You need to, 28th of the month, you need to pay salaries to your employees, and the amount is not small. You're paying in millions of rupees. The entire planning of this cannot be done unless we have a robust tool. You cannot do it with a pen and paper. One of the ways of handling a robust, a huge organization setup like this is having an enterprise resource planning software. Now, which are the large enterprise resource planning softwares available in the market which can cater to such businesses? SAP, you have Oracle, you have Microsoft Navision, all right. I can't think of any more. You have very, very few softwares out there in the market, solutions out there in the market, which can actually handle an enterprise of this size, of this complexity. And complexities are becoming more every day. By the day, we are seeing further complexities in the way businesses are. You are having multi-country operations. Earlier, one company used to be, say, for example, Tata's, Reliance. It used to be operating only out of one place in Mumbai 40 years ago, 20 years ago. Suddenly, there's so much of globalization happening that you're having an enterprise having its offices and dealerships and distributorships across the world. You're having compliance issues with regards to the laws of the place. It could be labor laws, it could be currency laws, it could be foreign exchange laws, it could be pollution control laws. You can think of it. Now, how am I going to be managing this entire complex enterprise? Now, that is not enough. We have got compliance requirements, we have got tax requirements. I've got my friend Vamsi Krishna here on the screen. Hi Vamsi, how are you doing?
Yeah, sir, I'm good, sir.
Good, Vamsi. So, Vamsi is right now in Tanzania, and he's also a student of SAP FICO, and he's an expert, as I call, in indirect taxes. And he's been working across multi-countries. He's been having exposure and doing accounts across countries. And I think a person like him can understand the reason why we need to have a robust software, a system, in order to manage the company. At the end of the day, what do I need? I, as the owner of an enterprise, I, as an owner or a general manager of Toyota factory, I am interested in knowing how can I control the day-to-day operations of my enterprise? How can I make sure that I am running my business profitably? That's all I'm interested in knowing. I need to have my internal controls in place so that nobody cheats and takes my money away. I need to make sure that I'm not incurring losses in my production. I need to make sure that I'm not stocking things which are not required. I need to make sure that I need to have stocks of things that's required on a day-to-day basis. I need to make sure that I have money sufficiently available to pay salaries at the end of the month. And I need to make sure that compliance requirements are all met. Right? How many things can one person actually keep his thumb on? So an ERP solution comes to the aid of a company or owner of a company to manage all of this and take the company to a higher level. Okay, now coming one step lower, SAP. What does SAP do basically? What is SAP? An SAP is, you might be knowing already, the world's largest ERP solution is SAP. The top Fortune 500 companies of the world use SAP. 9 out of 10 Navratna companies in India use SAP. So all statistics are available. But why are they using SAP? Why are they not using some other software? The reason why they use SAP is because SAP has been configured, has been built over the years to accommodate multi-country, multi-currency, multi-industry platforms. You want to have an oil and gas rig, you want to do accounting for oil and gas, SAP can do that for you. If you want to run a hotel, SAP is there for you. To the extent that Indian Postal Department runs on SAP. So multiple industry, multiple country, multiple currency transactions can be seamlessly handled on one software. Friends, gone are the days where people used to sit and do accounting. I'm sure a lot of you here are accounting students. You've done your BCom, you've done your MBA finance, and you all love your debit the receiver, credit the giver, debit what comes in, credit what goes. You love it so much, right? You will, and your teachers have told you don't forget all your life till you keep breathing. You have to keep remembering it. Am I right in saying that? Okay. I think it's high time you start forgetting it. Let me give you an example. You all have bank accounts, I'm sure, and you also have ATM cards with you. You go to an ATM. And you insert your ATM card into the machine. It asks you for a password, you punch in the passcode, and you put 5,000 rupees that you want to draw. The machine spits out 5,000 rupees, you put it in your pocket and go. And the next minute, your passbook is already reflecting a debit of 5,000 rupees. Am I right? Now, where is an accountant sitting and doing an accounting for this? Who actually went and posted this accounting entry, debit what came in, debit credit what came out? Did anybody actually pass this entry for you? The world is moving not slowly anymore, but rapidly towards automation. Once upon a time, 50 years ago, the most important skill a person would have wanted to have is typewriting. I'm sure there used to be a lot of typing institute. I don't think most of the the latest generation kids have even seen a typewriting institute. There used to be many typing institutes where they used to teach how to do typewriting. And if a person has not learned typewriting, it's like his life is wasted. Okay. Today, the same thing applies to learning an ERP solution. If you have not learned, not just ERP solution, I can say automation. If you haven't learned automation in your life, then you're missing out on something because the future of the world is automation. How am I going to learn automation? There are various ways. If you want to go totally into technical side, then you can learn coding, you can learn programming, and you can do a lot of automation work yourself. But if you don't want to do all that, you have a ready-made software available like SAP, which is already configured where people don't do accounting entries anymore. People do transactions. That's the basic difference between a ERP solution and a non-ERP solution. You are going to be doing a transaction. You are going to be doing a GRN. You are going to be doing a purchase invoice. You are going to be raising a sales order. You will create a sales invoice. You will run depreciation of the system. You are only doing transactions like how you went to ATM and you drew your money. You did a transaction. You didn't sit and pass an accounting entry in your passbook. How systems of today work is you're doing transactions. The transactions have been pre-configured in order to pass accounting entries in the way it should post. Now, again, let me go back to our example of debit the receiver, credit the giver and all that. That is good for a small enterprise. You've got a one shop where he's buying some goods, selling some goods, it might work there. Now, the organizations are complex. Take Reliance, for example. Reliance is Reliance one company or Reliance multiple companies today? Reliance is a group of companies. It's no longer a company. It's a group of companies, but still having the same flagship. Under each company, there are multiple profit centers. Let's take Jio. Under Jio, you have a company, one profit center which manages only the data plans. There's another profit center which is taking care of only the handsets. There's another profit center which is taking care of the cable TV, what we receive at home, the IP TVs, what we receive at home. So Mukesh Ambani sitting there is not interested in knowing whether Jio made money or not. He wants to know whether your SIM cards made money, your handsets made money, did your IPTV make money? I want to know how much money you made in each. That is where we are going to talk about profit center accounting. Now, who is capable of understanding all these terminology of profit center accounting, cost center accounting, depreciation? A person who's trained in a solution like SAP, that too in FICO, will be in a position to understand all these nuances of a business, and hence it qualifies to work in an organization which is as big as a Reliance or a Tata or a TCS or a Wipro or the large companies in Infosys you can think of. So career path is the better the programming or the better the languages or the softwares you learn, the solutions you learn, better are your opportunities in getting into larger corporates. Now, when I joined my first career job 25 years ago, it was a company in Dubai called Al Futtaim Group, and we must all have heard of the Y2K phenomena. In year 2000, they all had to change the computer systems because all the systems which were configured, the AS400 systems were configured in the 1900s, had only 2 digits for year. The date used to be written as 22/10/98. System was confused. It doesn't know when I put 98, is it 2098 or 1098 or 1198 or 1998? So they had to change all the systems in order to accommodate this 4 digits in the year. It was a big thing. Okay, and I was a part of implementation of SAP during that time, and somebody's talking. And there I realized the complexity of an organization where this group had businesses in automobiles, they had hotels, they had retail, they had electronics retail, they had service centers, they had clothing. So when an organization is having multiple kinds of industrial businesses, multiple kinds of operations, one system to handle the entire operations, it will be very difficult unless it's a very, very highly robust system. And I was involved in selection of SAP at that time after going through multiple rounds of evaluations of various softwares. And I've been at least working on this for the past 25 years. I've seen that SAP stands strongest. Microsoft Great Plains was there, it doesn't exist anymore. BAN was there, it doesn't exist anymore. JD Edwards came, it doesn't exist anymore. A lot of softwares came and went. However, SAP has been standing ground for more than 50 years now. So that is one of the major reasons why people prefer to opt for SAP, so that they get support, they get good kind of service backup. And let us take one more example here, friends. You all know that tax rates keep changing in India every year. GST rates keep changing, new rules keep coming, and not just in India, this happens across the world. Supposing I have a company in India and I have branches in Australia, Canada, and in America, and I need to consolidate my accounts, right? Consolidation becomes so much easier having a system where all these are already pre-programmed. Your taxes are already calculated properly because the system has already taken care of it. I don't have to sit and do my tax calculations. Your labor recoveries have already happened automatically. I don't have to do labor recoveries. So just imagine the complexities which system can take care of. All right. So for those who have already cleared your SAP FICO certification, I would like to tell you that the world outside is large. The world outside is massive for you. The whole world is inviting you. There are plenty of jobs available for you. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to be just sitting and practicing what you have learned? I don't think so. I think you need to go one step ahead now. Just look at the business models of companies now, such as Zomato, Amazon, Ola. Now, what's happening here? These companies are acting as aggregators. You are the FICO experts. Sit and draw a business plan yourself. Sit and draw a workflow yourselves. Just try to understand whether what you have learned will fit into a Zomato kind of an environment. Will it fit into an Ola kind of an environment? How are you going to configure their finance? How are you going to create the profit centers? You've all learned how to create a profit center, how to create a master data, what is a controlling area, how to do consolidation, how to run depreciation, how to create an asset. You've learned all that. But I think you need to go one step ahead now and try to adopt what you've learned for an industry. That is where you can make an edge. Now, coming to the students who are yet to enroll for SAP FICO course, let me tell you, the career opportunities out there are immense. And why am I saying this? Number one, you have an opportunity to work for the world's best and the world's biggest organizations, because only the world's best and the world's biggest organizations can afford to use SAP. It's not a software which you can implement for 5 lakh rupees, right? You're talking in hundreds of lakhs of rupees for implementation of SAP. So only the companies which have the muscle to do it can do it. And you, having qualified as a SAP consultant, you will have an opportunity to work anywhere in the world with these big and mighty organizations. That's one advantage. Number two, you will be having a understanding, or you will gain understanding of operations of various types of industries. How does a real estate transaction work? How does real estate development transaction work? How does steel manufacturing work? How does sugar manufacturing work? A lot of this is sort of intrigued in my mind till such time I actually went into an implementation. The complexities of the organization you will only understand when you actually land into the organization itself. Like the Toyota example I gave you. The more you try to understand the business, the more complex you will start feeling. How are you going to understand the complexities of the organization? Unfortunately, the education system in India, if you have done your BCom, the education, what you have learned for BCom, does not cater to what you need to become a consultant or to get a job in the market. I hope you all agree with me. If you want to become an accountant or a finance professional in the market, does your BCom enable you to do that? Forget BCom. Does your MBA allow you to do that? I doubt that as well. You are only very happy that you spent a lot of money and now you've got an MBA sticking on your wall. But other than that, are you ready to take on a job in the market? Are you ready to be employed by somebody? Because if I am the employer and I'm looking to employ somebody in the market, I need you to be ready in the market to be employed. I want you to be aware of what's consolidation, what is controlling, what is depreciation, what is profit center, what is cost center. If you're not aware of all this, then what am I going to do with you? And where are you going to be learning all this? You're going to be learning all this in SAP FICO course. Most of you, all the students who are here, who have already done the SAP training, I'm sure you understand what you've learned, you know how you can implement all those things. Why SAP FICO is so important? You've got so many modules. You've got HCM module, you've got MM module, you've got a PPSD, REFX. At the epicenter of all these modules sit your FICO. Every transaction that an organization does has an impact on your financial module. All right. It could be buying things, it could be selling things, it could be setting credit control areas for people, it could be job works, it could be transfer pricing, it could be costing. You think of anything without finance, there is no operational activity in a company. And at the epicenter of all these modules of SAP sits finance module. What does FICO stands for? Finance and controlling. So talking about accounting, managing your finances, forecasting, budgeting, controlling, internal controls, it's all included in one module or one segment called FICO. Now, if you were to look at what you need to be in order to become a FICO consultant, do I need to have programming language? I don't think so. You don't need to be a software engineer to be doing FICO training. As long as you have a good understanding of how business works, as long as you have the inclination to learn how a business would work, as long as you want to have you have a zeal in you or a sort of fire in your belly that I want to come up in life, I want to do something different. As long as you have that, I think you can take up FICO consulting as a career. What do you gain by becoming an FICO consultant? I have seen students who have become consultants in FICO traveling the world, working in very high positions in companies. They have seen various companies, they have worked in very large corporates as consultants. So you get an opportunity to work, as I already said, with the big and the mighty in the world. Demand, I already told you there is huge demand in the market. And if I was to just give you a sort of synopsis as to what all you learn as a FICO consultant, it will be general ledgers, accounting and general ledgers, credit control areas, financial statement versions. You'll be learning about typically if you were to go to any organization like a big four organization, there your transactions or a module are split into four different areas. One is called a P2P. P2P stands for procure to pay. Then you got O2C, order to cash. You got R2R, record to report. You got the master data, the complete end-to-end master data management, right? So each of these modules you will be learning during your course to become an FICO consultant. Once you complete your certification, maybe it could take you 2 years. The learning curve is very steep here. It doesn't take you, if you join as an accountant in a company, if you're a BCom or if you're an MBA and you join as an accountant in the company, it generally takes you about 8 to 10 years for you to go up to the next level. You join as an accountant, and if you want to become an accounts manager, there's a slightly higher jump. If you want to go, you need to have 10 to 12 years of experience. But here in consulting, because of the huge demand that we have here in the market today, the growth is quite amazingly steep. So you join as an associate consultant, and in 2 years you'll be a consultant, and in the next 2 to 3 years you'll actually be a project manager on a project. So I would say in 5 years time you will already be a project manager on a large project. So I have seen very quick. Some people have done it much faster also, again depending on their interest, depending on their ability to handle projects by themselves. Okay. You will have an option to work onshore, offsite, where you'll be sitting in the office and working on projects. You might be sent outside on the project. You might be sitting in Zurich as or in Paris and doing a project. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to work, lots to learn, and the most important thing, friends, when you go out to the market and you tell them that I am a SAP consultant, the amount of respect you get is something completely different. When you put on your CV that you are a consultant, you are a SAP consultant, you are seen as somebody who is something apart from the rest. So there is a huge amount of opportunity, not just in India but abroad as well. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to take it, and I'll open the floor for the questions.
Sir, Sur has put 2 questions in the chat box. Sir, you are on mute.
I'm sorry. All right. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one question here by, in fact, Syed Manzoor has put 2 questions. The first one reads, shall we learn FICO or simple finance as an accountant of having 7 years experience? Syed, if you can reiterate your questions, I'll be very happy.
It's Syed, sir.
Syed.
Yes. Hi, sir. Good evening. Syed Manzoor here. Sir, first of all, I would like to tell you the thanks for giving the brief introduction about the SAP. So just I was actually thinking about whether we have to learn the SAP FICO or simple finance, because right now in the market, due to the HANA has came into the picture and most people are doing the simple finance. And actually what we have to do, whether we have to do the SAP FICO first or we have to do the simple finance directly. SAP simple finance.
Syed, can you clarify to me, Syed, what do you mean by simple finance?
So it is purely dependent on the HANA, S4 HANA database, which is upgraded version. So SAP FI is the ECC6 module, so it is older version.
Okay.
So that's what my understanding.
Thank you. Syed, the foundation of SAP remains the same whether you go for S4 HANA or you go for your R3. The foundation learning, if somebody has done a SAP FICO course certification, he doesn't become a person who's, what should I say, very good only in SAP. He can go and do an implementation Oracle for all that I know, because master data is master data in any platform. Profit center is profit center in any platform. Controlling is controlling in any platform. You can do an implementation Microsoft. Maybe the terminology might be different. In SAP, we call it as master data. In Oracle, they call it as address book. But the functionality is the same, right? So either you're doing it in simple finance, you're doing it on S4 HANA, you're doing it on R3. At the end of the day, you are going to become a consultant. Okay, for those of you who could not get a bit of what I said earlier about a consultant, functional consultant. Who's a functional consultant? There are 2 kinds of consultants. There's a technical consultant and there's a functional consultant. What does a technical consultant do? A technical consultant is a techie guy who knows programming and coding and ABAP and all that stuff. So he is the guy who knows how to go and code the system. We are talking today about a functional consultant. Why is a functional consultant important? I go in to do an implementation of, say, GST in MRF. Okay. When I enter the factory, I need to understand all the nuances of the company, all the criticalities, the critical segments of the company, their functions, their operations, how they do things, where are they going to procure the materials from, how are they procuring the materials, where do they import it from, at what price do they buy. I need to understand all these things from their teams, from their finance department, and convert it into a document which my technical guy can understand. If I send my technical guy to interview them and get all the information, then they will want to build a house and he would have built a shed, because he will not be able to understand the terminology what they are going to be talking about. When you go to interview the finance director of MRF, he will say, I want to have 14 profit centers. The technical guy may not understand what exactly a profit center means. He needs it to be translated to a way in which he can understand. And the functional consultant has a huge responsibility in translating the requirement of the project customer to the developer, to the technical guy. So most importantly required here is an understanding of the business and not so much of whether I should do it on this platform or that platform. Okay.
Great,
Now the
sir.
second question you asked is the SAP market is going down by next 5 years due to Oracle and other competitors providing with lesser cost. Syed, as I already told you, businesses are becoming more and more complex every day. You've got blockchain. You've got companies which are all working virtually now. As I told you, Zomato doesn't have any product of its own. Ola doesn't have any cars of its own. Zomato doesn't have any kitchens of its own. Amazon doesn't have any products of its own. But they're all becoming large companies. Right? The advantage of SAP is that they are able to manage the quick transition with the amount of, I think there are some 10,000 people working in SAP labs in Bangalore itself. Right? They're investing so much money in R&D that any new business process, any new industry which comes about, they're able to capture that. Why did Barn fail? Why did Microsoft Great Plains fail or close? Why did JD Edwards close? Because they were unable to keep up to the market's requirements. They were good. They were very good. At some stage, they were very good. But why is SAP still the strongest even after 50 years? Why is SAP still the strongest in the market? It's because they're doing something right. So even you might get cheaper cars in the market, people will still continue to buy an Audi. If they like an Audi, they'll still buy an Audi. Just because a Hyundai i20 came to market, people did not stop buying Audi, right? Right? If you want to drive an Audi, if that's what it requires, you're going to buy an Audi. Similarly, if a company requires for its complexity of organization, they need to have SAP, they need to have SAP. They cannot go for a cheaper solution. I hope I answered your question.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thanks, sir.
All right. There is a question here from Sharanya Patil. I'll read it out. As people outside have started working as a FI consultant without even having certificate or experience, how do we stand out from such people as companies hiring who can show up a fake certificate experience? Very good question. As long as at the door saying, I am qualified engineer or something, and this happens in I think every industry, every office. You get fake CVs, you get even fake horoscopes these days, right? So fake CVs are I think acceptable. There are people who are trying to sell themselves without having proper education, qualification, certification. They go out to market, they might fake an interview, they may get a job also. But how long do you think they are going to sustain the job? A few months, maybe a year. Don't you think they'll be exposed? Saranya, if you are online, can you please come on with your video so I can discuss with you?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Sharanya.
Hi.
So, did I answer your question? You are going to
Yes.
be having these kind of people all over the place. People without proper experience, people without, they'll write, I have 10 years of experience. How can I go verify? I do my background checks. But still, sometimes you cannot see a watermelon from outside, whether it's good or not. Only when you cut it open, you will get to know whether it's really eatable, edible, or it's already gotten spoiled inside. People are like that. When I hire a person as a SAP consultant, I will know within a week whether he is good to be employed in the organization or not. And these guys cannot sustain. They will be shunted out soon. But if you have a strong foundation, if you have learned the right way, if you have gone through the proper internship, most important here, if you just learn theory, which most institutions do, or you can even do an online course. You can even learn swimming online. You can learn driving online basically. But your skill will only be tested when you are put into the water to swim. Whether you will swim or you will drown. That is a test. So they can do a training through online course. They can go for a fake certification. They can do all that. But when they come and you put them in front of a computer and say, okay, code it now or do me a business process document, you will know how good they are. Did I answer my question?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sharanya. Mohsin has asked a question. Hi, sir. My question is that mandatory to do S4 HANA after FICO? Mohsin, can I see you somewhere on the screen? Good question.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Mohsin. Good to see you. Good question, Mohsin. My question is that mandatory to do S4 HANA after FICO? Mohsin,
Yes.
I don't know whether you joined at the start of the session when Mrs. Prajakta started with a quote, and she said,
Yeah.
Madam, can you repeat the quote you said again, the first line? Prajakta, madam? She's
Yeah,
muted.
sorry, it was mute.
No problem.
So it
Can you
was
repeat?
like at the age of 20 or at the age of 80, you can still keep learning.
Okay, thank you so much, madam. Mohsin, learning never
Yes, sir.
stops. Today you might be learning FICO and you might be happy with what you've learned with FICO, you'll get a good job. You can continue working on FICO for a long time because, as I said, business is business. After 5 years or 10 years, you realize that there is a higher opportunity for you in the market. That if you become a S4 HANA consultant, you'll get double the salary of what you're getting already. What will you do? There's nothing that is mandatory.
Yes.
Nothing is mandatory. You don't have to do any additional courses. If you become a FICO consultant, you are a SAP consultant for FICO. But if you want to do something better, if you want to, you can learn any additional modules. You can become a materials management consultant also, if you want to. There's nothing stopping you. In addition to SAP, you can become an Oracle consultant also. There's nothing stopping you. Don't stop learning, that's all. Keep looking around in the market. What is in demand? What additionally do I need to do? Which certification do I need to do in order to stay active in the market, to stay alive in the market? And if you think you need to do S4 HANA, please go ahead and do it. Maybe you need to do a PMP certification, please go ahead and do it. Don't stop learning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from Sonali Kakde. Hello, sir. What will you give advice to the SAP FICO fresher to enter in the industry? Sonali, can you come online?
Can you give advice to the fresher?
Not a problem. As long as I can hear your voice, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Sonali, have you completed your FICO internship?
Yes, I have completed.
You completed your certification as well as your internship.
Yes.
Where did you complete it?
From IT Terms.
Excellent. And when was this?
In December 2021, I have completed my internship.
Fantastic. Now, Sonali, one thing you need to do is take Prajakta's advice because she is so well connected in the industry that
She
she
is
knows
very cooperative.
absolutely. She'll be the best guide for you to say what are the first step you need to take, because I have seen myself the number of students who have graduated from the IT Champs Academy. They have been placed in very good roles. Okay. Every person has a different dynamic to their life. Some people cannot travel, they cannot go outside Mysore, or they cannot go outside station, their parents don't send them out, they want to sit at work, home and do work. So there are so many constraints. So depending on each person's requirement, there has to be a sort of proper fit that needs to be done. So there's no sort of a one size fits all, number one. Number two, wherever you get an opportunity to learn, get in there. Don't look for how much am I going to get, what is the package being offered. As I told earlier, the growth curve in this industry is extremely steep. Make sure that you don't stagnate in any one position for too long a time in whichever company you join. Some people they join as an associate consultant, and they want to remain as associate consultant for 5 years because there's no zeal. First of all, they don't want to take any additional responsibilities, they don't want to take any risks. They just want to happily come to office every day and go back in the evening. If that is what you are, then you know what you want to do. But if you think in 3 years' time, I want to be working as a project manager on a project, that's absolutely possible for you. It again depends on which team you are going to work on, how actively you are participating in day-to-day activities. Don't restrict yourself to my desk, my work. I am going to be working on my project. I will not interfere with somebody else. Talk to your friends, talk to your peers. Ask them what project are you working on? What is the complexities there? Is there anything I can help you with? That is where you get to learn about other industry, about other complexities of organizations, and then you will be in a much better position to jump to the next level or the next company. Right? But our opportunities are massive, opportunities are huge. We are currently in IT Champs itself, we are currently looking for more than 100 consultants. Prajakta madam might give you entire statistics for this as to in what module I want people, but I can tell you we are looking for at least 100 consultants today. If you have the right kind of skill sets, you are welcome to join anywhere.
Yes,
Raghu sir, adding to this, just I'm having one small question.
Yes.
Sir, actually, so we are having the 7 years of working experience as the end user in the SAP, no? So after doing this consultation course and certification, so again we have to start up our career as a fresher, or directly we can actually, as having the skills as people management, leadership management skill, and also as an end user, just adding the technological skill, and we can just directly push it up for the as a senior consultant or manager kind of post.
Very good question. See, the 7 years of experience you are having functionally will add a great amount of value to your CV. Take, for example, a person who comes with zero experience, straight out of college, straight out of, say, MBA, and he learns SAP. A lot of things which he's learning, he'll not be able to relate to how exactly it looks in an organization, right? You already know what a fixed asset means, you know already what a depreciation means, you already know what a profit center is, so you already have that exposure. You know how foreign exchange currency valuation is very important for you while you're closing the balance sheet. You already have that experience. So when you're doing your FICO course, it is going to reinforce your understanding of what you've already done. Number one. Number two, when you're now applying for a job as a consultant, you will be much more sought after because you have functional knowledge much better than all the other consultants. But your SAP understanding, you would never have done a project. You would never have done an independent project on SAP, and hence you need to start as an associate consultant maybe, or maybe if you're absolutely good in your understanding of business and communication, you might even start as a consultant, one level higher, but you can actually jump up much faster than the rest of the people because of your experience in industry. So your 7 years of experience has not gone a waste. Now I have got, as I already said, my friend Vamsi Krishna, who's on the screen. He lives in Tanzania right now. He has more than 10 years of experience across various industries. And now he said he's worked as a finance manager in various companies, accounts manager in various companies. Now he's acting as a finance director in a company. And he has chosen to do this FICO course because he wanted to use what he's already learned, mix it with technical knowledge so that he can change his career.
Exactly, sir.
So Vamshi, you want to just give this thing of what your feel is about what I said?
Yes, sir. Very well said, actually. I'm the finance director for 3 companies. Now I'm currently working in SAP. Now I want to do this course after Raghunandan sir's suggestion. So really this is more important to my career. I feel that, okay, SAP consultant is having a huge demand. Okay, we are here $7,000, $6,000 they are giving for the SAP consultant. Really huge market is there because entire even African continent they are shifting towards SAP. So I feel, sir, your initiative for this kind of program is really appreciated. And see, this is definitely the users definitely get more value addition if they do SAP course, SAP FICO course. if not only UK and US, not only developed countries, even Africa continent also more opportunities are there, and huge this one package is there, and even we cannot anticipate in India how much we are going to get in Africa with the same experience and same knowledge. See, I'm telling very truth. In my company, a SAP consultant who doesn't have any certificate, but he is doing a very good job and he is earning $6,000.
So now we can imagine how much a certified consultant can get.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Vamshi. That was helpful. I think everybody got an understanding of what FICO consultant can actually gain to get to gain by doing the certification course. So, is there any other question which you would like me to take? Feel free to ask. Thanks, Vamshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kavya is asking, sir.
So,
Kavya, yes. So, whether global certification is mandatory or training certificate is enough to
join a company,
to join.
and is an internship mandatory?
Kavya, internship is, it's like, I am going to teach you driving in a classroom. Okay, and then I go and I'll give you a car and say, go drive on the road. What will happen?
Accident, sir.
Absolutely. So you said it right. What internship does is it's going to give you hands-on experience. We are actually going to give you the steering wheel inside the campus and say, go take 10 rounds around the campus and come. And there will be somebody sitting right next to you so that you don't go and crash into somebody or kill somebody. That is what internship does. Now, if you don't have internship, you want to straight away do a training program and go and start working, you might go and crash somewhere. And we are talking about large systems, very complicated systems. If I just go and delete one paragraph somewhere in the code, or I do one wrong configuration, it could create a lot of havoc in the company. Your entire financial systems could crash, and hence it is recommended that you go to the internship program and learn what exactly happens in an SAP implementation. So you're getting a first-hand view of the whole thing. That is the whole idea of doing it. Now, whether global certification is mandatory or training certificate is enough, I leave it to you. Whether you want to, whether you can afford. If you can afford to spend money to get a global certification, go ahead and get it. But if there is somebody who is giving you the same amount of training with internship is most important. Let me tell you that again. If you've got somebody who can give you an internship at the same level, then it's not really important that you get a global certification. You can still perform well.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mohsen, I think you have the same question. Can we work with institute certificate in India itself? I think I've answered the same question to you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, there is another question from Sharanya. I'm working currently as an end user in SAP FI accounts payable role. And now after my certification internship, is there any added advantage while I start looking outside market? Sharanya, I think I answered this very, very similar question raised by another member here where he said I have 7 years experience. If you already are a SAP user and you are working on a P2P role, doing SAP FICO certification is going to give you a sort of a jump start. You don't have to actually sort of warm up your engine to start the car. You're already there. You're now doing FICO certification means you know the screen, you know the fundamentals of an organizational setup on SAP. You know what a cost center, profit center is. You already know how general ledgers are created. You know Dunning procedures. You already have all that advantage. You have an edge over the others. So when you actually start your career, you will be starting one step ahead of the others. Again, depending on what role and how many years you have had experience in the role, you might be starting 1 or 2 steps ahead of the others. And internship, as you said, Again, you're asking the same question. And now after my certification internship, is there any added advantage where I start looking outside market? Absolutely, because your internship adds a lot of value.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else wants to ask any more questions? I hope sir has cleared everybody's doubts and questions, and hope you might have learned a lot from sir's experience.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. Sir, one more question is there, sir.
Any advice for fresher? Mohsin, I think I spoke to somebody. If, in everybody's life, there's always a point where you're a fresher. Right? When you go to school, you're a fresher. When you go to college, you're a fresher. When you get into a job, you're a fresher. You need to just learn how to wriggle your way around. I already told somebody this. You are a fresher. You are going to be joining as a consultant. And when I look at this word fresher, I would assume that you already completed your FICO course. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Mohsin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you've already completed your FICO certification, right, Mohsin?
No, sir. Still more class is going on.
I can't hear you. You're not very audible.
Still more classes are
Still
going
more.
on, he said.
Super, Mohsin. So more classes are going on and you will soon be completing your classes and you will soon be a FICO consultant. The biggest advice I can give you is don't lock your mind to only what you're going to be reading in your books or what is being taught. I already gave the example to you guys of Zomato, Ola, Amazon. Try to start thinking in your mind, how is accounting being done in these organizations? How is control being established in this organization? When Mohsin, you go and buy something on Zomato or you go and buy something on Amazon, you're going to use your bank account. You just go and say, okay, I want to buy a t-shirt, and you go select a t-shirt, it is 500 rupees. You go and make a payment to your credit card or your bank account of 500 rupees. After 5 days, the t-shirt is delivered at your doorstep. Did you ever wonder what all transactions happened from the time you selected this particular t-shirt till it was delivered at your doorstep? Did you ever check? Did you ever try to see what kind of transactions might have happened which was automated? How did they automate it? What software might be sitting at the back of it? Because one small mistake there, you might have asked for a green color t-shirt which is small size and you will get a red color t-shirt large size. Very small error in coding can actually do that. But how well it is configured that you are getting exactly what you want. And the day you actually go and pay the money, they'll tell you when it's going to be delivered. They'll say it's going to be delivered to you on Monday. How is it happening? How much of automation is already built into the system? So you, as long as you have the keenness to learn, your learnability is high, you will do extremely well. Just keep your mind open, talk to your peers, talk to your seniors, make friends around the campus, go tell them, please teach me something new today. Your teachers will teach you what is in the book, but if you want to learn more than that, you need to be having that hunger for knowledge. So you go chase them down. You tell them, today I want to learn something from you, teach me. Make friends with them, sit with them, ask them more questions, ask them industry examples. If they're having a meeting, if they don't allow you in the meeting, stand outside and listen what they're talking about. Do whatever you want, but try to gain more knowledge. That's the only way you can grow. Did I answer your question, Mohsin?
Thank you, sir.
Thank
I got
you.
it.
Is there anybody wants to ask any more questions? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It was really pleasure hearing you, and lot we
Sir,
have
one
learned
more
a lot
question.
from you.
Sorry for
Yeah,
disturbing.
Mohsin.
Everyone is looking for like experience work in SAP for consultant and for associate. They want experience only. Then what about the freshers? What about this job?
Vamshi, it is not just in the case of SAP consulting. What is your qualification, Mohsen? Basic qualification?
Sir, BCom.
Okay. After your BCom, did you get a job?
No, sir.
Why? Because you're a fresher.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I am a chartered accountant. After I became a chartered accountant, I applied for a job. In many places, my CV was rejected because I was a fresher. It is not applicable only to a SAP consultant. Across the board, either you are a doctor or an engineer or a chartered accountant or a BCom, whatever you are, do you think it's any different from engineers today? Why do you see engineers working in banks as selling credit cards? Because they don't have experience. So this issue which you raised today is universal. It's not only in India and not only applicable to SAP. It's universal across all industries. The only way to do it is stand apart from the rest. Mostly. There are 1,000 freshers who have qualified SAP FICO during this year. Out of that, how does Mohsin stand apart? What does most of these 1,000 students who have done SAP, they don't have an opportunity to do internship. Only very few organizations have an academy and a consulting organization. IT Champs is one such organization where you are having consulting organization and academy in the same campus. What is the advantage of that? You are learning theory and side by side you have an opportunity to learn practical aspects of it. However, it is entirely upon your interest how much you want to learn. If you say, no, I don't want to stress myself. I want to go home at 5:30 every evening. I want to meet my friends in the evening. I'll come to office. I'll sit in the academy. I'll learn whatever they teach me. I'll go home. Then you are the loser. So how are you going to stand apart? There are going to be 1,000 freshers. Out of the 1,000 freshers, Mohsin, you decide how you want to, what you want to do additionally to stand apart. You decide, you do whatever you want. You do a certification, you do additional courses, you do 3 months additional internship if you want. Go beg, fall at their feet, do whatever you want. Tell them I want to work on a live project. Please give me one live project. I can sit here all night and work if you want. Give me one live project. You do that, you are already there. You go to the market and say, I have experience in working for projects, they'll employ you. But you have to do something different from the rest of the people.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anyone? Any more questions? Okay. Sir, it was really nice hearing you. Lot we have learned from you. And thank you for sparing your valuable time with us and explaining all this. And thank you for our team from IT Champs who have worked very hard to have arranged this webinar. Naresh, Rifa, Monica, thank you so much. And all the participants who have participated today, thank you so much for attending. And I hope you might have learned and are taking back few of this knowledge from Sir's experience. And if you want to know this more, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be putting a lot of webinars recordings there. So you can share with your friends and families who are interested in learning the details of what finance and HR till now what we have completed. So feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank
if
you
you
so
have
much.
any more questions post webinar, you are free to send us a message or call us anytime. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vamshi, for joining from so